Stop trying to emulate others because you don't know what they are actually going through. So keep your eyes on your path. Trying to be what others are will only distract you from your goals. My guest in this episode of Passing the Torch is a fellow service member. In addition to serving in the Air Force, my guest is a serial entrepreneur, has served as founder and CEO of Mutt's Sauce LLC, and executive director of the Ohio Taste Foundation. A sought-after speaker and coach for women's empowerment and small businesses, she is a TEDx speaker. Her talent is cultivating influential people by meeting them where they are in life and business. She's also an author, and her incredible book will provide you with tangible, helpful methods and solutions to get yourself out of every type of rock bottom you may experience. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome serial entrepreneur, Clemson Tiger, Chucky, and author of Rock Bottom Has a Trampoline. Passing the Torch with Charlynda Scales starts now. First and foremost, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me. This is awesome.
Thank you, George. I'm glad to finally be here. Like, this has been in the making for quite some time.
And thank you for the amazing gifts. I love that. I love your the stuff. Most importantly, I have to ask you to sign my book because I have.
Aww.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have you whatever you want to write, or we can do it after.
Okay. Knock it out real quick. There you go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Do you have a specific message?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Like whatever you want. And then afterwards, I'm going to show you this. So all the books that I read, I take notes on those books and I write them in this black notebook right here.
Yeah.
So this is 12 years of books that I've read, since 2015. Wow. And it's also full of like thoughts and quotes and all that. But there's a section in there of Rock Bottom Has a Trampoline. And I want to show you the handwritten notes that I took about your book.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's interesting. I read your book and then Third Shift Entrepreneur back to back.
Oh.
And you're referenced in that book.
It's Todd.
Yeah, Todd Connor.
Todd Connor.
I always want to say Todd Bunker, but it's,
it's Todd
Connor. Yeah.
From Bunker Labs, founder of Bunker Labs. Yeah, he's a gem.
Yeah.
I love Todd. I love his spirit and similarly like-hearted human.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. Thank you.
Yeah, so one question I like to start off every podcast with is, why is life great right now?
Why is life great right now? Oh, I am finally finding some margin. Let me tell you, I think I have this reputation for being 150 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Things are always happening. And I've finally, I think, found a sweet spot of margin to really sit back and think about how do I need to show up in the world right now? What does my family need of me? And being that person for them. So it's been real quiet.
No, it's good. You're so busy. Like I see you on social media and it just seems like you're either going to an event, whether you're speaking or just attending, you're doing something, or you're hosting something with the business side of it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, man, I'm cheering for you.
Thank you.
How is David Dwayne doing?
Thank you for asking. David he's my son. My only son is doing really well. He's 5 now. You know, he was the pandemic clock baby, so...
that's right.
March 2020. Yeah, it was right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Club David, right? Like that's in the book.
Yeah, Club David. So for anybody who hasn't read it yet, he had jaundice. So whenever a baby has jaundice, you have to put them under the UV lights and the blue lights. And he had to wear these little glasses. So I was like, it looks like he's in the club. So he's doing great. 5 years old. He loves aircraft and he loves fast cars. So,
No, that's good. No, I thought I saw that there's a picture in the book with you with sunglasses on, I think. Today's actually my son's 8th birthday.
Oh.
And it's just like that. Like
it's fast.
Yeah.
They grow fast.
And he was not planned. He was on it because we were told we couldn't have any more kids. That's why there's a 6+ year age gap between our daughter and our son. But he's alive and well.
Look at life.
Yeah. I want to start off with a question. Like, how did you turn a handwritten recipe? And I might be jumping around all over the place. But how did you turn a handwritten recipe from 1956 into a bottled sauce that people could buy?
Well, I was definitely motivated by the why. I think the why will always be more powerful than the what. So looking at it, people have recipes in their house, grandma's pie or whatever. And I found myself on active duty, and I was not a cook, but I respected the fact that my grandfather had made this barbecue sauce. Our family had eaten it since 1956. And I'd learned that I'd received this recipe. I respected him not just for what he did, but he was a Korean Vietnam War veteran, aircraft technician, and I'd always wanted to show him how proud I was, not only to be a part of the family, but thankful for what the family had done to raise my mom and her siblings and put a roof over my head and my other cousins that I grew up with him. So at that moment that I had that recipe, I was thinking about all those things. I was thinking about the reverence for him, but I also knew I had no clue what to do with a barbecue sauce recipe. I took it to SCORE. So I looked up free mentorship. SCORE gave me a mentor, John Suter. God bless him. He passed away this past year. Lost my first mentor. But he said, it is about the why. Why did your grandfather give you this recipe? And I said, I think he really just wanted somebody else to do something with it. It's like, yes, but he loved this family and he wanted to take care of them. And it's kind of like the pass the baton. So that's why I even pursued it. Because I said, maybe eventually it will take care of the family. How it shows up, we'll work through the technicalities, the checklist of taking a barbecue sauce recipe and manufacturing a tomato-based product. So we figured it out. We had our first batch was hand poured by the Amish out in Chillicothe. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part. That's really cool.
Yeah, 700 bottles hand poured by the Amish. I took a U-Haul out there. I actually I don't know if I told anybody this. I got pulled over by the cops. I got pulled over by the cops on the way back to Dayton. And it's because I was trying to make sure that none of the cases fell over in the U-Haul. And at one point, I just swayed a little bit on the road. And I guess the cop was like, there's a drunk person on the road.
Wow.
I don't know. So he comes to the window. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm sorry. I have barbecue sauce in the back of my U-Haul. He's like, barbecue sauce. Like, he wanted me to say it because he thought it sounded ridiculous. I was like, I know it's like really late at night, but there's really just barbecue sauce. And so it was, get out of the car, get out, open it up. And he opens up one of the boxes and he sees that it is actually sauce. And I gave him one. I was like, that was my first customer was a cop. So
shout out. What comes to mind when I say speed of determination?
Speed of determination is however determined you are to get it happen, to make sure that it happens, is how fast it will actually happen. So if you think that launching a podcast is going to take you 4 years, it'll take you 4 years.
Yeah.
If you're determined that it will take you 4 months, it will take you 4 months to launch that podcast. You remove barriers. So people who aren't serious about a goal, they will say, I'm 40, I have 2 kids, so you'll start putting all these barriers to getting it done. People who really want to get there, that is an amplifier. I'm over 40, I'm established, I got this. I have 2 kids, my kids motivate me to get this, they inspire me. So you'll either have that story of how all those obstacles helped you, or you'll have the story of how those obstacles kept you from doing what you want.
Yeah, that's good. There was a quote. Do you follow the Modern Wisdom podcast?
No,
with Chris Williamson. I'd say that there's been podcast rankings online, but they're not 100% accurate. But I would say probably 2 of the 5, definitely in the top 10 of the biggest podcasts in the world, are Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett and Chris Williamson, Modern Wisdom, both British. So there was something. So Chris Williamson, for his 1000th episode, had Matthew McConaughey on as a guest.
Okay.
And he asked a question, and it made me think of you. And I'll listen to these. And these are like 3-hour podcasts, but it's so, over the course of the week, I'll listen to one episode. But anyway, there's a question he asked in that episode that made me think of you. But what comes to mind about when I say, this is Chris Williamson, what he asked Matthew McConaughey, but I think it applies to you. But what comes to mind when I say model the rise, not the result?
Model the rise, not the result. It's kind of, I think of it as like enjoy the journey itself. One of my favorite books is Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so, he's looking for a treasure and not realizing that the journey is what he needs to be focused on and learning yourself. And I've learned a lot through everything. And Rock Bottom Has a Trampoline talks about failure, but that's the part I think entrepreneurs don't focus on, is the failure was also part of it.
Yeah.
Like, you were supposed to be learning something. Even through the pain, even through the trauma, there was something there for you. And we don't count the blessing of rock bottom sometimes.
Man, I love that. And I have stood on business and talked about you. I've talked good gossip behind your back, right? What I've told people like to throw around the term resilient. I don't know if I've met anyone more resilient than you, to where if rock bottom has a trampoline, Charlynda Scales has a rocket launcher that propels her, right?
God bless you.
But I guess 2-part questions. One, what's the biggest lie entrepreneurs tell themselves? And 2, what's the hardest, like we always talk about the hardest lessons on the way down. Mm-hmm. What was, I guess, a hard lesson, or a hard lesson that turned into a positive one on the way back up?
Oh, yeah. What is the lie that we tell ourselves? That some triumphs come with suffering. Like, you don't always have to suffer. It doesn't always have to be painful.
Yeah, it's good.
And especially veterans, I think we sometimes internalize it has to hurt,
Yeah.
To get the results, it has to hurt. And it doesn't always. Or just the lie of, it can't be that easy. Yeah, it can.
Yeah.
It can. It can just be as easy as putting your mind to it and doing it.
Would you have would that be like the same advice for anyone, how to turn their inner critic into a trampoline?
Yes. And I will say this probably, I was thinking of doing this as its own video, but at first I was like, how it comes out, I don't want to overthink it. But the moment that we nominated our Department of War, our Secretary of War, my imposter syndrome went away. And I mean this as a positive thing, because the realization was that when we're called to do a job, at no point is there someone who says, how do you feel? Are you scared? Do you think you can do the job? I look back, it made me stop and look back on my career. Rather than criticizing, I said, when did I get a hard job and any commander asked me how I was feeling, if I was scared, if I felt qualified? I'm qualified because they're asking me to do the job. So at that moment when the world is having feelings, I had feelings. At first, I was spiraling out. I'm like, wait a minute. He's a major. I'm a major. I would never sign up to do that. I would never, because I was thinking of like inner critic.
Mm-hmm.
But then just the fact that he's like, yes, sir, I'll do I'll do it. No matter what you think about it, he said, yes, sir, I will do the job that you're asking me to do. And when I was in my 20s, it was the 2008 California wildfires.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's part of your book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was one of those moments where what average 20-something... When do you call a 20-something-year-old and say California is burning to the ground? I need you to go save California from burning to the ground. Are there qualifiers there? No, there were no qualifiers. There was no discussion about who I was, my age, what I looked like, where I came from. Nothing. It was go get it done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that to me, the inner critic that I dealt with for years got remedied right then. Like it was just a mindset shift of if you're called to do a mission, then you're called to do the mission. You know, if you are there in this moment that is asking for greater than you even feel at the time, you're not always going to feel qualified, but you don't have to feel qualified to be qualified.
Yeah. That's a good point because I know something I'm guilty of. We, especially in this digital age now, it's hard to escape the outside noise. But like to me, like you seem very confident and like you have it together. Was there ever was there a specific point where you said, you know what, I'm going to stop seeking advice or validation from outside sources?
Well, you know, that is part of self-actualization. You know, your journey in life is to become okay with who you are.
Yeah.
And that's also an acceptance of the, I guess you would say, the bad things too. We all have parts of our personalities and our day-to-day challenges as people. They're like, oh man, you know, there's some days I look like Fraggle Rock. Like, just, you know, it's true. I don't always have it together, but I have to build systems around those things. And I say that as like systems in my personal life and systems in my professional life. It's not just, okay, make sure your emails are taken care of. It is be honest with my family about the things that I suck at. Yeah. And be okay with asking for help and surround myself with people I can be vulnerable with. So my inner circle is going to look a little different as I self-actualize because I don't want to have someone where if I fall apart, they're like, well, that's not like you. I want them to be like, it's okay to fall apart right now.
Yeah. So what's your advice for, I guess I love the like-hearted mentor. Mm-hmm. What's your advice? We always hear people say, like, you know, I like being around like-minded people. I've never heard of like-hearted until you, but what's your advice for someone on how to better surround themselves with like-hearted people versus like-minded people?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's start with yourself, right? You gotta live a life where you are someone who has the values that you seek in other people.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be a person with no morals seeking to be surrounded by someone with morals. And I've been in those, you know, I've been in those situations. I frankly, I dated a person who had, you know, in my past said, he said the number one rule is don't ever lie to me. And our relationship ended because he lied to me. I was like, okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like you have to be what you demand of other people.
You have so many clippable moments. That there's going to be like these 10-second clips. It might be like 30 that you can see on social media.
But that's it. But when you see that, you'll see that in other people.
Yeah.
You'll be easier to see in other people. And it'll be easier as you self-actualize to build those boundaries and say, I'm not even going to fake it like we have compatibility. I'm not going to roll in this circle because it might be cool to be in this circle. I don't care to be cool. I care to have an inner circle that is real.
Yeah, and that's a hard lot. I've learned that in recent years where, and my peace, my energy is so much better just because I've had to walk away from some circles and that just, I'm like, it's tempting, but like I wasn't myself or I couldn't be myself or I wasn't reaching my potential, but I'm happier doing my own, like, trying to find my right people and I'm getting closer to that, right? And people who celebrate your small wins or people who are willing to do a podcast and they're
and this is a great quote too, by the way, man in the arena.
Yeah, so I have that every single, this is always over my right shoulder. Yesterday I recorded a podcast with Jason Galui. He was previously part of the Bush Institute. He just left that position. He moved on, but he was executive director or something with the Bush Institute for 5 years, the Veteran Leadership Program. He's an Army veteran. He saw that. He's like, man, is that the Teddy Rose? I'm like, it sure is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can relate. There's always critics, right? And I have to remind myself, I have my goals. I showed you my book.
Yeah.
My goals take my energy, my time, my focus. If I'm stopping to, because some people, they're not criticizing you to help you grow. They're criticizing you because they want to keep you down. So you don't reach that full potential, right? So I have to
build the discernment.
Yeah, and I walk by this every single day.
I love it.
So it's a constant reminder.
There's a general that I work for, and I hit a rock bottom moment in my career, and he had sent me that quote.
Really? Yeah.
And I was like, that was a defining moment for me on active duty, because I was like, yeah, he was saying what I was saying, like, you're gonna hit rock bottom, you're gonna fall on your face, but get back up.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I bought this in Georgia a couple years ago at a silent auction at a hotel. I was visiting my sister, and I didn't think I'd win, and I won. And so I had to call her like a week later, like, can you go to this hotel and pick this up for me and mail it to me? But
nice.
I love it.
It's right.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you a question about recovering. I just realized. So when you're at rock bottom, you're trying to work your way back up. You know, that's another moment for you to learn about yourself. And I think the story that is most prominent, I think, in recent memory was my divorce and being in that apartment. So when I moved into an apartment by myself and just being still. And some of us don't realize how chaotic our lives are until you're forced to be still.
Yeah.
Like, life will make you be still. And I'd never just really sat with my thoughts and my own feelings and where can I contribute, or what am I supposed to be doing? And having a like-hearted person say, I know this is a sensitive time for you. I know your emotions are raw, but you need to get up.
Yeah. Now, and you were so open about that in your book, and this is when you were stationed in DC, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that really, in this book, I have sections that are highlighted, and stuff.
But that's part of the recovery process. Is if someone is at rock bottom, it is an opportunity for you to learn about yourself.
Yeah, what is something about resilience that most people get wrong, you think? Because I feel like you've learned so much, and they're applicable to the lessons are applied, anyone can apply it to their daily lives. But yeah, what's something you think people get wrong?
I used to think of resilience as such a dirty word. And, you know, I saw an interview, I think it was Bogdan, Tommy Bogdan, Chief Bogdan. Did you interview?
Joe Bogdan?
Joe.
So
sorry, yeah.
he was just on my podcast.
Yeah.
I'm releasing that episode tomorrow.
I saw a snip of it.
Yeah.
And I think it was him. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief Bogdan, but when I was talking with him, I had said something about resilience. I couldn't stand the word resilience because it just, to me, is this mindset that we have to suffer. Mm-hmm. You know, that there's something about suffering that should be glorified. And I feel for people who have a life full of resilience, because that also means a life full of pain. A life full of recovering over and over and over. And if you are resilient, you are a pro at overcoming suffering. And so my heart, you know, the empathy in me is like, my heart bleeds for resilient people, because I know, what is that from the boxer? Who's that boxer that bit Evander Holyfield?
Oh, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
My favorite boxer of all time. Yeah.
So he said, you'll never know how much somebody said, oh man, you're so calm. He's like, do you know how much violence it took for me to be this calm? And that hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, it doesn't come without something having happened.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. The reason why it's like so much gratitude, so much hope, so much positivity is because I know what the other side looks like, of hopelessness, of despair, of pain. I've lived it over and over again. And so I have so much more gratitude now looking back.
Hey everyone, I want to take a quick break from today's episode to talk about the show's sponsor. Are you retiring or separating from the military soon? Looking for an alternative to the Veterans Group Life Insurance, also known as the VGLI? Reach out to Dan Guzman Life Solutions. Dan is a 27-year United States Air Force veteran and retired command chief. After a lifetime of service, Dan's mission is simple: protect yours. As an independent life insurance producer licensed across multiple states, Dan specializes in helping military families find smart, affordable term life alternatives to VGLI and insurance policies that fit your life and budget. If you want coverage that makes sense, reach out today at danguzmanlifesolutions.com. The link for that will be in the show notes. Now back to the episode. There was a LinkedIn post that I'm so grateful that you posted. It might have been like 3 or 4 months ago. It was about, it was called We Go Back. And it was about the Vetties and you had a picture of you and Ann Hesh, right?
Yeah.
But you shared a moment that looked glamorous on the outside, but came from a deeply vulnerable place. And that's what I think man, you were, if you're not the people's champion, you're definitely on the short list. I think there's so many people. But for that event that night, what gave you the strength to show up? Because that took a while.
It did. I wanted to stay in bed. I was deeply depressed, even though I'd had people who were picking me up and picking me up and picking me up. It was another thing to show up in front of my peers and not let my energy be seen, like not let the pain show on my face. Because this was a night of celebration. So the Vetties was, they combined celebrities with veterans and people in the entertainment industry to celebrate veterans. And I got an invite from a friend of mine, and he's like, Charlynda, you're here in D.C. Like, it doesn't make any sense for you not to be at the Vetties. Did nobody invite you to the Vetties? I was like, nobody invited me. He's like, well, this is your invite. So, find a dress. And I've already got 5 of them in your closet. Just He was right. I did. So I was like, okay. I looked at my clock and like, I got to pull myself together. So again, it's just the speed of determination. Like, are you determined to show up? Then show up and remove any barrier to you showing up. I'm like, don't have a hairdresser. Didn't really have the dress that I wanted to wear. Didn't really have the money to be spending it like that because my lawyer's getting all my cash. And I just went to the mall. I was like, I'm just going to walk into the mall and we'll see what happens. The lady at the counter, she's like, oh, I got one of these curling irons. I'm like, great. You want to curl my hair? Here, go ahead.
That's being resourceful.
Yeah. Went to the back. They're like, we're doing makeovers. Perfect. So this is a day where normally I'd be like, no thanks. I was like, everybody's getting a yes. So got the yes, walked into the dress shop, found the dress, tucked the tag, and showed up. And just for that moment of time, it's just be here for your friends. That is it. Be here for your friends. I came back after that night. It was really fun, like Cinderella, the chimes of the, it's time to go. Came back to the apartment, which had like scattered of boxes and the cot. Hung the dress up and laid on a Coleman cot in an empty apartment. But the overwhelming thing is, even when you're at rock bottom in your life, you can still be called to show up for other people. You're still a light for someone else, even if you personally are in the dark. You can be a light for somebody. So,
what would you say is the biggest gap between what we showcase to the world versus what we're actually going through?
Everybody has a chapter of their life they don't want to read out loud. And we have to stop demanding that people are transparent in their moment of rock bottom. Because I know even after my book came out, there were a couple people that were like, why didn't you talk about any of this? Like, why am I just now finding out about this? Years of this.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not that I was trying to hide it from you. I was really concentrating on coming out of it. So I'm not upset to hear about people's recovery from rock bottom, because I understand when you're in it, you're probably not going to talk about it. It's not the first instinct to start shouting to the rooftops about your situation.
Yeah. So, like, what would your advice be for people on how to uncover for themselves places where they don't feel free?
Well, I mean, you don't have to have a big circle. And that's the thing. Like, there's some people who think I have to have lots of friends, or I have to have a lot of people to confide in. I have, like, I would say my best friends, like 2.
You want to give them a shout out?
Hi, Vi. Hi, Molly. So, and if you were to ask me how many times I see Vi and Molly, probably once or twice a year.
Yeah.
If that. I haven't seen Vi in a couple years.
Yeah.
So.
And she needs to come to Dayton, Ohio. Who doesn't want to come to Dayton?
Right?
The metropolis.
I have a lot of really close friends. So I'm not saying that the people I haven't mentioned are not in my inner circle, but when I'm like, the people, if something happens with me and I'm passing my child off to someone, that's different.
With like a 1 o'clock in the morning phone call there, you got to drop everything.
Yes.
Right? It's like, hey, who? Yeah.
Like, I'm not even looking at the cost of the flight.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would say you don't have to have a big contingent of people that you can go to, but you need to have at least someone that you can fall apart with.
Yeah. Do you know who Rick Prado is? He's an Air Force veteran, and like way back in the day, like in the 60s, pararescue. He separated and then ended up working for the CIA for like 40 years or something like that. He wrote a book called Black Ops, and very interesting. He was just on my podcast. I released an episode last week, but anyway, he talked about an episode. Oh, and he's from Cuba, so he saw with his own eyes. He was, I think, 8 or 9 years old at the time. The Cuban Revolution in 1959. Oh, wow. He saw the guerrillas fighting in the street. This whole thing, right? It's a very captivating story. But anyway, he talks about in our episode who's that person you can call at 2 o'clock in the morning. That I need you to help me bury a dead body. You know?
Yeah.
It's like
that's Vi.
Yeah. It's like that's good. Like,
Vi sends me reels. She says to me, she's like, so, if anything happens, it's like, I ask no questions. It's like, it's like, what's this guy? The guys from Good Will Hunting.
Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
Yeah. And I can't tell you where we're going. Can't tell you what we're doing. She's like, bet. Who's driving?
Oh,
what is it?
The Town.
The Town.
With Jeremy Renner and Ben Affleck. Yeah. And he was like, whose car are we taking?
Whose car are we taking?
Yeah.
That would be my answer to Vi. Like, whose car are we taking?
Just a quick off-ramp. Who's one person in the military community, through our community, our shared community, who's your, I'll call it 2 in the morning to help me bury a dead body with. You get to pick one person to say their name.
One?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll let you pick 2, because I know.
To bury a dead body. Now that, okay. With a caveat of the body.
Okay, yeah.
I would actually say Garrett Cathcart.
Okay. Cool.
Garrett is, so I think he's from a presidential scholar, presidential leader, graduate, but I met him through More Perfect Union, which is a nonprofit that gathers veterans. At the time, they were gathering veterans across the country to be leaders in the community and to kind of like bridge the divide, the division that was happening.
Yeah.
And like, we're neutral because we live by our core values. Like, that's our only thing. We're beholden to the Constitution. But just casually, he's such a happy, like, go lucky guy. And then you start hearing about his military background, and you're like, oh my God.
Okay.
That's
good to know. I'll have to check
they're
it
just
out.
like, oh man, that's the one person in class you're like, that will always be my friend.
Cool.
That will always be my friend. So
I love that.
carrot.
Oh, that's awesome. So, one thing I struggle with is, I'm getting better, is undervaluing my self-worth. Whether it's for me or for anyone else, what's your advice for them?
You are wonderfully and beautifully made in a perfect image. That's something people have to internalize, and also the noise of the world, because the noise of the world wants to put you in a box. A box that you don't belong in, that you weren't designed for. And the moment that you break out of that box is when you really start to feel like the relief.
Yeah.
It's suffocating to try to fit in and to try to make people happy and to try to get approval. It is suffocating.
Yeah.
It is like being in a box. And that's why I tell people, like, break out of it. Like, you weren't even made for that. And eventually the world will adjust to you. These videos that I've been releasing on LinkedIn this year was, I've had this margin to kind of be my own person. So yes, I was, I'm founder of Mutt Sauce. I was executive director of the O-Taste Foundation, and I have delegated all these things are either belong to other people now. We have passed the baton to a new executive director. I have worked with these Meredith college students who are freaking brilliant.
Yeah.
They are brilliant. But it has freed up so much of my time that I'm like, what am I good at? And one of my friends is like, you are a C-suite executive who's never actually been placed in a C-suite role.
Yeah.
You've been advising C-suite executives and military generals, and like, look at the people that seek your advice.
Yeah.
And that is what you are. You are a strategist. Like, you are deep strategy and executive operations and C-suite advisement. I was like, but when I'm in these roles, I even look different. I call it the bust down middle part. The middle part, Charlynda, is the one in boardrooms and fly me out here to the middle of nowhere for a strategy session and projects that I have folders of NDAs for. Like, they're like, why do you hide her? I'm like, I don't know. It sounds like a different person, but I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. But it's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about all those things. They said, find a way to just be yourself and not hide that part of you because you're like, oh, Mutt Sauce has to be fun and friendly and all this stuff. Or, I have long hair in some videos, and my son, I will tell you this right now, the extensions that I wear when I go to speaking events and stuff, he has named it Charlynda Scales. Like, to him, it's a persona. He's like, Mom put some extensions in, and it is game time. So, but that to me, I was like, I'm fitting into the box that this person needs me to be in. But if I'm going to release the box and step outside of it, you're going to get bust down middle part.
I like it.
I'm not overthinking it. I'm just showing up.
We all have, I think everyone has an alter ego inside of them.
Yeah. I want to see bust out middle part torch. I like it though. It's, don't let the box suffocate you is really the point. Torches.
That's good. That's one thing, just drawing inspiration from you and so many other people, I think over the past couple of years, is that I've started just to lean into just being unapologetically, authentically myself. Mm-hmm. And it rubs people the wrong way, some people the wrong way. But then I've noticed too, like, people will kind of come out of the woodwork in a good way to help you or just, give you feedback, or like praise you and stuff. So like it attracts the right kind of people. Yeah. So I just recently got my first headshot done last Monday in Columbus, and I put it off for a long time because I'm actually self-conscious about how I look. And I just, I'd always want to be like, I need to get in shape and, and always dip. So I put it off for a long time, and I do acting as well. Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And, and I never had professional headshots. So up until recently, I was using a free headshot that they had set up at Mick in 2024. That someone had a ring light, and I just whatever I took one, and then last month I just thought about portraits for patriots, and they do free headshots for transitioning service members. So I emailed them, and they found like no one in Dayton, but they had like plenty of people in Cincinnati and Columbus. I was like, well, I'll go to Columbus. And so last Monday I drove to Columbus. It took about an hour and a half to do the overall shoot. But this guy had like everything. I mean, a full setup. Oh. And he took a ton of different headshots. I picked the one I liked best, posted it last night. People were instantly saying, oh, AI is really good these days. And I'm like, no, man, this is not me like in this jacket taking, using like the AI filters. Like I have that suit. I have like this green color shirt that I like to wear.
Yeah.
I got a haircut that day.
Like that's me.
My fade was fresh, but
they're hating.
I want to switch to some lighter topics. These are miscellaneous. There's no rhyme or reason. So just kind of all over the place. But in addition to what we previously talked about, please discuss 6888.
Yes. So in World War II, our country, America, sent 855 black and brown women to Europe. And the issue was they had all these millions of parcels of mail stuffed in warehouses. And if you think about what is important to anyone who's in a deployed environment, you need to know that there's people back home that care about you. And similarly, they need to know you're okay.
Yeah.
Something. And in this war, there was undelivered mail. The morale had tanked. They hadn't heard from their families. They're just out here fighting and hadn't heard from their families. And they had decided to augment this postal battalion that was led by Lieutenant Colonel Charity Adams Early. At the time, she was a major. And her and her battalion, the 688th Central Postal Battalion, were sent over there with this job to deliver all the mail to all the soldiers. Now, this is not the postal service that you and I think of, not UPS nor FedEx.
Yeah.
There's no barcodes. There's no scanning. These things have been handwritten and have been sitting, ink bleeding, faded out. And they say you have 6 months to do it. Millions. I think it was like 17 million parcels of mail.
Wow.
6 months. They put them in this place where it wasn't set up like a barracks. Like they had to basically kind of renovate it themselves to make it function for what they had to do. And they did it in 3 months. Wow. These women went over there and said, we are part of the warfighting force to get this job done. Back home, we're not even equal to the people that we were fighting alongside. We wear the uniform with people who we're not even equal to. But over here, it's one team. And when they got it done in 3 months, now I know they are heroes in Europe. I mean, when you're in primary school in Europe, you learn about the 6888.
I'd never heard about it. And I'm a history buff.
Yeah.
Until when did you guys do the premiere? Because you hosted a premiere or something here in Dayton, right?
We hosted a premiere about a year ago.
Yeah.
And last year, we'd also learned that they had gotten the Congressional Gold Medal. It's one of the highest medals you can get for service.
Yeah.
Well deserved. But if you think 855 women, at the time that they were doing this ceremony, that me and my co-founders of Otace Foundation, we were invited to Washington, D.C. to witness it. This room has hundreds of people. None of the original members of the 6888 are even in the room because they're all over 100. There's 3 at the time who are still alive. They were all well over 100 years old. Yeah. They were too fragile to even travel. But still, it's like that. They deserve their flowers. They deserve their flowers. I was in the military when I learned. This is 2019 when I learned about the 6888.
Yeah.
I'd served since 2004.
Yeah.
Have never heard of them. And hearing about their heroics, I was like, they deserve their place in history. they deserve to have children talk about them to the end of time. So that's why the commercial kitchen we built in Dayton, Ohio, is called 6888 Kitchen, to honor what they did in history, but also to invoke that spirit of like teamwork and just grace under fire.
Yeah, every time I walk by that kitchen, I always like look in the window to see if you're there. So, because I forget exactly where it's located, but I know I walk by it when I go downtown and stuff. And
it's downtown in the Dayton Arcade.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was having lunch there maybe like a month or two ago, and I was just like looking around to see if I could see you and stuff. And
6888 Kitchen is our gift to Dayton. You know, we recognize that there's a food insecurity, food desert issue. There's not adequate access to healthy food. But also there was a problem with food entrepreneurs not having a place to thrive. And if you're at home, there's great things that you can do. But if you wanted to get a contract with Kroger, or you wanted a big catering contract, you need space.
Yeah.
And we just didn't have that. I've seen it in big cities. Big cities have lots of that. But we didn't have them. We didn't have them for some reason that was beyond me. I just couldn't figure out why Dayton hadn't thought of that yet. So
no, it's great. I think it's, that that's when I first learned about 6888, and then obviously subsequently the kitchen was when you guys premiered the film last year.
Yeah.
Thinking back to 2025, would you say that was the highlight? Like, what's a favorite memory from 2025? If it's not that, what is it?
Oh, wow. There were a lot of things that were accomplished in the last year. I think just traveling, connecting with people. I just love connecting with people. Don't know if it was a specific project, but I remember a couple things that I've done in the last couple years. One is work with the Pink Berets.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So, yeah.
Love the Pink Berets. Yeah. And Stephanie and her team, they have built something really special. I flew out there to Texas, did a retreat with those women.
What's her last name?
Gatas?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I flew out there and did a retreat with them. Talked about, again, overcoming. These women are survivors of PTSD and MST.
Yeah.
And, that's a trauma that stays with you. It's something that they need to talk to someone who can meet them where they are. It was like, I really need to hone just meeting people where they are in life and uplifting them without, being a safe space. So that's another theme that I've noticed that crosses everything that I do. Be a safe space for someone. I think we don't put that as such a priority when we are instituting programs and courses and come by my office and have these hours. Like, if you're not a safe space, I'm not booking time with you.
That's a great point.
Yeah. So I concentrated on being a safe space, and that's where I ended up, was working with the Pink Berets was one. I worked with a colleague of mine. I actually went to school with him, Joe, and he was a commander of a squadron out in Texas. And Texas has a squadron of medically disqualified basic trainees. So if you decide you're going to go to boot camp, you're going to go to basic training, and you get hurt, you get medically DQ'd out of boot camp.
Yeah.
So your whole future was riding on you becoming an enlisted member and, healthcare, whatever it was that you were hoping to get out of your service. And they're telling you, no, your time here is done.
Yeah.
But they can't immediately send you home. They just hold you in the squadron until the end of boot camp.
Yeah.
So imagine every time they do boot camp, there's about 200. 200 futures that have just been altered. That was an experience that will forever change, because like, these people still want to serve. Why haven't we built a program to pipeline them into something else? And he had thought of the drive program. So civilians have the drive program, will funnel you to a civilian job.
Huh.
To be a government civilian. That's an option. I would like, they should sign. There should be people close to that base, to Lackland, ready to take in these people. Like as soon as you get medically DQ'd, go talk to Drive, go talk to the Peace Corps, talk to somebody.
Something, yeah, that's good. I never heard of that actual program, so that's something new I learned.
Mm-hmm. But those are two that stand out for me.
Sorry, say that again.
Those are two programs that really stand out for me that I was able to work with in the last year.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have time for more questions?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I want to do, before we go on to other questions, I want to do what I call the name game.
Oh.
And I like to say, so I'm going to say a name.
I think I got caught in the name game.
You did, a couple times actually. Someone named Tessa,
I love her.
I wasn't going to bring up I'll bring up her name anyway. But
I love Tessa. Can we just have an I love Tessa moment? I love you, Tessa.
I love you too, Tessa. Like, you're awesome. It's so funny. My first time going to I didn't know anybody, period, right? September 2024. And I knew of people. Yeah. And I remember meeting you at that mixer. And, but Tessa Robinson and Jessica Manfrey, I was just talking to them and they were so kind to me. And then you came up and started talking to Tessa and you two had this beautiful moment together and just giving, like, you guys were fighting about who's more awesome, like, she was like, no, you're more awesome. I'm like, no, you're more awesome. And it was a sweet moment. Like, there's a true, genuine respect and love for, you have for, yeah. So, when I did my podcast with her, and she's so fun, I did the name game, and I brought up, and I didn't know this, right? I knew you guys were close, but I didn't know the rest of it. So I said, Charlynda Scales, and I brought up Lauren Hope, and she was like, I have a text group with them, and I was like, I had no idea.
We're legit on a text thread.
Yeah, and she was like, the three of us, like, she said, I was actually just texting them before before I jumped on this call, and it was so funny. She has the best things. So I'm going to say some names, say a word or sentence, positive, that comes to mind when you hear these names.
Okay.
The first one is Damon John.
Real.
Yeah.
He's real. I consider him a friend now. And there are people I'm a person, like, once I have really searched my heart and I have observed you, I've been around you, we've had moments of, like, good, bad, in between. And I love you, like, I love you deep. I'm there. He has been there for me several times. Many times people don't even know about. But just encouraging and understanding where I came from.
Yeah.
Like, both having a single mother who works so hard to try to just build a better future for their children. And he understood that. I did not meet him on Shark Tank. I met him 4 years after that. And ever since then, I said, I will, whatever you need, I will support you. And that's what I've done.
The next name is Fawn Freeman.
Fawn. So, when you have rock bottom moments will show you who people are.
Yeah.
And they could ask more of you, even though they know that that's not what's best for you. Or they could say, I'm going to lose you, but losing you is what's best for you. Me losing you is what's best for you. And that was a hard goodbye. Fawn Freeman was one of the leadership at the headquarters of the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration. I worked as a portfolio manager there for all the communications programs. So I was excited about that job because I was a civilian. And I was kind of jazzed about it because she was another person that said, I don't care if you left active duty as a captain about to pin on major. You're about to be a GS-14. Like, you're going to be almost at a colonel level at the FAA. And I'm like, wow. It's like, I'm not looking at your years of life. I'm looking at what you've done with what you were responsible for. Yeah. So I wanted to stay with her for 20 years if I could. Yeah. And when I was going through my divorce, it was just so soul draining. Every day trying to show up and be excellent with that. And I'm usually great at compartmentalization, but I broke down in her office. I've never broke down in a boss's office. That was just like don't ever do that. And I was expecting for her to be just like, okay, you're fired. Like, this is not how we act. But she gave me a hug in the middle of her office.
I love that.
She gave me a hug in the middle of her office, and she showed so much empathy and grace in that moment. And she said, what would be best for you? Not your career right now, like you as a human being. And I said, I need to go to wherever people know me. Like, I don't know anyone but my coworkers in Washington, D.C. right now. So
what about another name for you?
Okay.
Mrs. Sue Pecora. Get tongue-tied.
Sue Pecora. Hi, Miss Pecora. I love Miss Pecora. Miss Pecora is my favorite teacher. She was my 4th grade teacher. And, you know, I'm a Section 8 kid. I grew up, Mom and I left my grandparents' house, and she wanted to be on her own, but we moved into the projects, like low-income housing. I didn't know we were poor, but when you get into public school, I went from public school to public school to public school. I couldn't settle on one because the kids were bullying me at every school for whatever reason. Got to Sycamore Elementary. This is like my 3rd school in a year. I stay there, and I get to 4th grade, and Miss McCord just had different energy. I'd say right now, Miss McCord, I don't even think you belong in Cookeville, Tennessee, Miss McCord, because she's out of sight. Like, think outside the box. Think outside of your small town. Yeah. I want you to get out of here. In 4th grade, she's like, I want you to get out of here. I need you to think about your future. And she would do stuff like, she had this taste testing day. She had us taste caviar and escargot. And like, you know, I was like, people pay for that? You know, they're paying to eat snails. But she was just saying, where you start is not where you're going to finish. Ooh. So I need you to know how this life is. I want you to have a taste, literally, of this life. You know, I'm like, it's overrated. But, you know, but ever since then, I was just like, gotta get out of here. Gonna do something. But she was one of those like-hearted people that said what wasn't popular. It was probably, if you see someone who came from the projects, a project kid, you treat him like a project kid, you know? But she's like, never that.
Yeah. I've done a lot of research on you, so
I would just, hey, these names.
Yeah.
Yeah, that brings back a lot.
I got a couple more for you, and you can be like, oh my God, Martin. We have a lot of mutual friends that I don't think you're tracking, that anyway, you're going to hear what I did.
Roger that.
The next name is actually the name of an organization, Girl Scouts.
I love the Girl Scouts.
You were one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a Boy Scout?
No, but I just saw my daughter's in Girl Scouts, so I took note of that, and I just wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah, so. Girl Scouts is like the first service organization. You know, kindergarten. You're thinking about, I want to make this world a better place. Service before self. You're thinking about that in kindergarten.
Put the sauce on these cookies, man. I put much sauce.
They're the original gangsters, okay? You're learning sales and marketing. Love them.
All right, the next name is Bhakti.
Bhakti. You know what? I have to revise my list because I consider Bhakti a best friend. She's someone, if something happened to my child, I'd be like, I need your help. Come get my baby.
So I met her when she was a lieutenant, and we were in Massawa together, I'm pretty sure. Like, way, way, way back.
What?
I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think, like, where we met, and I'm pretty sure it was in Massawa, like in 2005 or 2006 or something.
What do you think of her?
I was super polite. I mean, I know, I'm not sure if we're friends on social media. I have no idea, but I mean, just super polite. And I think I was a senior airman or an E5 at the time.
I keep teasing her. I call her General Mary.
Is she a general now, or?
No, she's a lieutenant colonel. But I was like, hey.
Yeah, so it would have been Massawa. The timeline kind of, it was either there or Vandenberg, but super polite, humble, you know. So nothing bad, only positive.
Yeah, she's in that list of friends that I was like, yes. As soon as you said her name, I was like, yep, she's on the short list because There, during the pandemic, it was a very isolating experience.
Did you write about her in the book?
I did.
You know what? That's where I was like, man, this is. So I was tripping out when I read your book because the fact that you live in Dayton and like there's people that I was like, oh my god, like I know this I personally know that person, and then there's another name later on that you're gonna be like, oh my god, and it's I was like, I had to do this. So there's a lot of authors in this area, surprisingly.
Yeah.
That I've had on my podcast, and anyway, so it was to me it was meant to be. So
she's a good person, and that like I said, the pandemic, we were already friends before the pandemic. The pandemic was so isolating, especially as a new mother, that I didn't have anyone to help me navigate all the emotions that I was feeling. Ones that I couldn't even really talk to my mother about at the time of being. I was single by choice, but I was like, but it is different. It is different to not have a partner, that I chose peace for my child. And I said, I'll just put my own love life off till later.
Yeah.
But right now I choose a peaceful environment for this baby. But it's lonely sometimes. And I didn't want to tell my mom is such a problem solver that if you say anything to her, she's like, well, let's take you to church. Let's take you to the grocery store. That she'll start going down the checklist. I'm like, I didn't ask for help. I just want you to listen. And Baki listened. She listened. When there's like it opened up a little bit, and I was like, my child has not played with another human being. She would come by with her kiddos, and
that's awesome.
Just so he could have a friend. So her kids were my son's first friends.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Small world.
Yeah.
Colonel Edge.
Oh man, that is going back. Colonel Edge from Clemson University. I love him. I do. I say that because I almost didn't graduate.
Oh.
I almost didn't graduate. And Colonel Edge was one of those people who was like bombs on target. Like, you've got to stay focused on how to get out of Clemson. Like, there's so much. Don't think about being an A student at this point, because I was struggling with math. Oh my goodness. I don't know what it was about the math classes. I can make straight A's and everything and bomb that math class and then just bring down my GPA. And he's like, hey, C's are for commissioning.
I love that's great advice. Shout out to Colonel Edge. Like, yeah, that's great leadership. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, he's like, C's mean commission and the clock starts over. You can't tell the 4.0 lieutenant.
No one cares, right?
No one cares.
I've never once asked any officer, hey, what was your GPA in college?
Yeah,
right? It's just
no.
Like, I don't think I've ever asked that.
But he's like, just get your mind right. Focus on what's important. And get her done.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's going deep with that one. Last name, and certainly least, I'm saying that on purpose, Rob T. Watkins. I'm joking.
Watkins! This is a setup.
I call him T. His name in my phone is T-Pain.
T-Pain?
Because, so I met him when I first got stationed here. He was a DO for a squadron, and I was in a leadership position within the unit. So we spent a lot of time together. But it always made me laugh that his emails would say Rob T. Watkins. I don't know why that made me laugh. So I don't know. It just cracked me up, and I just,
Okay, so
I think the world of him.
Yeah. He's amazing, and the whole Clemson crew. I have so much respect for. But just Rob is real. He's another person. He just keeps it real, and Chucky. Right, he called me Chucky, and
he's the one who gave me that name. So I texted him on. I texted a few people on Sunday.
Oh.
And I said, "Hey, Charlynda's going to be on my podcast this week. What's something I can ask her that I cannot Google? That's not in her book. What's something personal from your experience?"
Yeah, when you said that, I was like,
"It's from him."
How did he? Okay, yeah, that's from Rob. He's fun.
He is.
He's fun, but he's real, and I feel like you have moments in your career, right, where you really do need a circle that you can trust. You really do need people that you're away from home.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have people familiar, so that just became like our family in a way.
He gave me one of the best pieces of leadership advice I've ever heard, and it's just be consistent. Be consistent. You know, some people are all over the place with their emotions, and that is stuck with me.
I wish I could have seen him more on like in his professional role.
Awesome.
Know?
And I've given him this feedback. You know, like in the military, we talk a lot about, and he became a squadron commander.
Wow.
And I think he got picked. I'm pretty sure he did get picked up for 06, and I think he's going to be a group commander. He's fantastic.
It's a weird experience, and I say weird, but like all my friends are 06s or on track for general officer.
There's people I knew as lieutenants that are like 06s and generals now, or people. You know, I mean, you know my rank in the military. Like, there's people. They're like, oh man, we need to contact, not by name, but like this office. Man, that's my buddy, you know, so and so. Like, I'll text them. Like,
you'll see like the leadership things on the wall. I'm like, you know,
yeah, I did kickstands with that person. Anyway, with Watkins, specifically, he's great at many things, but there was one thing that, you know, we talk about vision and strategy, and those are always like key things for units, right, and organizations. He does an excellent job of breaking down strategy and vision into actionable steps.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's where a lot of organizations miss the mark, is they have these great slogans and this great vision, but there's no way to apply it. But he really, very simple. I got to tell this story real quick about him, and it's been 6 years now, so I feel like that's statute of limitations. We were at he was filling in for the commander at the time. The commander was on leave. And so we were having our weekly staff meeting, and there was two captains. They were flight commanders arguing at this, and the staff meetings, like, this is attended by flight chiefs and, like, you know, airmen, or we had a bunch of people briefing, right? So there was airmen and like lieutenants there, and like a ton of them enlisted. These two flight commanders, this is the only time I ever saw him get mad. They were arguing, bickering back and forth in front of everyone at this table. Wow. And I'll never forget this, because Watkins is pretty calm. I'll never forget. He said, after the meeting went on. After the meeting, everyone left, and he said, those two officers by their first name, my office now. And he brought me along with him, and I stood at attention, and he's just like laid into him, and I was like, man. But I have the utmost respect for.
That's
for
good. You praise in public, punish in private.
Right. If you were to give a TED Talk for something for which you are not known for, what would it be?
What I'm not known for? But I could give a TED Talk? The acquisitions process? The Department of War acquisitions?
What about a hidden talent?
Oh, a hidden talent? Singing country music.
No way. What do you sing?
Shania Twain.
Can we get a little?
Oh my goodness! Now? Yeah. Oh, see, I'm nervous.
Oh, you saw auto tune.
I'm nervous. It's what is a song that I love?
Oh man, I feel like a woman. I can't think of it.
Any man of mine better be proud of me, even if I'm ugly, you still better love me. I can be late for a date, that's fine, but he better be on time.
Bravo. Bravo. See? That's Rock Bottom has a country music album.
Hey, there you go.
That was really good. Thanks for doing that. You know, I was in a boy band way back when, right? Back in the...
For real?
Mm-hmm.
You were in a boy band?
Mm-hmm. Like the late 90s. We'll say late 90s.
Is there an album?
2000, huh?
Can I buy it?
No. Like it was I mean, we were horrible. It's from 2000 to sometime in 2001.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
You are deep.
We were horrible. Yeah, but and I can't sing, but I could somewhat dance.
Okay.
But, yeah.
We'll test that. I'll see you admit.
So Tessa knows this story, and I think it's gonna. We'll see what she does with that.
I'm gonna see her and Lauren soon, so we'll have to hatch a plan.
Last couple questions. If there was a giant billboard with your picture on it for the world to see, what would you want that billboard to say, and where would you want that billboard to be located?
I would want the billboard to be in Cookeville, Tennessee. And it would say, "The world is bigger than Cookeville, Tennessee."
It's really good. I like that. I like the small, like when people say small towns. That's good.
I love my town. And also, we had like an 18 and out thing. Like, if you don't leave by 18, there's a likelihood you'll never leave. And so, one thing that I do, I have cousins who have a lot of kids. And I told them, like, once you get to like high school graduation, one thing that I gift them is a plane ticket. I gift them a plane ticket wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
I just want you to see anything outside of Cookeville.
So my ceremony was last May, and my effective retirement date was not till November. But I was on skill bridge and terminal leave over the summer. But I took my family to Europe, and my daughter, she was 13 at the time. But I wanted her to. We went to 3 countries in 2 weeks. So,
wow.
Yeah, we spent 5 days in Paris, and then we spent 1 day in Austria, and then the rest of the time was in Germany. But just going to different cities, like 4 or 5 different cities when in Germany. But she was just trying the different food and seeing history that's older than 200 years or whatever, and like it's so, and it definitely changed something in her, just like the world becomes bigger, like your mind opens up a little bit, right?
It expands.
Yeah.
And it's hard to accept not seeing anything else when you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's hard to just stay put and be like, I will never go see anything else after you've seen that.
Yeah. One thing, so tomorrow I'm actually going to publish episode 118 of my podcast. But one thing I've done since episode 100, my wife was actually a guest for episode 100, is I want to pass the torch between episodes and guest. So what's a quote or a question that I can ask a future guest in a later episode?
What are you doing today to assure a better tomorrow for the rest of the world?
That's good. I like
or, for anyone besides yourself. Because we're not here, this dash between when we arrive and when we leave, it's not for us. It's what do we do for others before we left.
You were so amazing. What can I do for you? How can I best serve you?
You're doing it. This is a chance to tell a story authentically. You're allowing a platform for people to see that maybe we are connected, to see what we can do together, to remember what I did on the beach with no water.
Put it in the comments, right? So everyone listening, put that in the comments. Clemson 05, right?
Yeah.
Is that when you graduated?
04.
04, yeah.
Please tell me. But yeah, that's why you're so powerful to me. It's like you are amplifying stories, you're connecting people, but you're also providing those moments of introspection of like, why am I here? Like, what am I doing? And sometimes you need to pause and think about that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I have one last favor. So this is the book that I have that my son wrote in it, of course. Mm-hmm. So these are all different books I've read, like Atomic Habits, right? Mm-hmm. And when I meet the author of that book in person, I'll ask him to sign.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. And I write in cursive, so it's all formal.
Hey, that is a lost art. I've been trying to teach my 5-year-old to read cursive in case.
Yeah, I'm teaching my kids. Like I'm very. So you can see, rock bottom has a trampoline. These are notes I wrote about your book. If I could have you to sign your name on this page.
I got you. What an honor.
Yeah, well, I'm honored. Like you're a big deal. Like you're someone I look up to and greatly admire. So
thank you. Thank you so much.
That's Todd. I was about to do Todd Bunker.
Yeah, Todd Connor.
Yeah. So when I meet him, I did meet him at Make last year, but I'm gonna. I'm sure he'll be at Mick this year, so I'll get him to sign it.
Yeah, Todd's a good. I would say I had 2 other people. I'm like, well, who would have anybody? Todd probably would be good at that. Also, Seth Gilpin, if you're listening, I try. My respect for Seth goes so deep, that I try not to mention him publicly in case he doesn't.
He was at NASIC, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was a commander at NASIC, but we also grew up together in Cookeville.
Get out!
Yeah.
I don't know him. I might have met him one time, like 5 or 6 years ago or something. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know.
Yeah. God. He and I. So you have superlatives in high school. So the Cookeville High School is the Cavaliers, and he and I were Mr. and Mrs. Cavalier. Yeah, it's deep, man. Wow. The connections run deep, but yeah, he's one of those people that, like, I have so much reverence for him that I'm like, whatever work that you have to do, if your name is someone that does, a name that should not be uttered publicly, but I know, like, I know that if I have to call you in an emergency, I will call you.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that story. That's, God, that's...
Yeah, in the moment, there's names I was like, okay, I think about it. People like Bhakti and Seth are also two people.
One bonus question.
Sure.
There's two different options you can take. If you, Lauren Hope, and Tessa Robinson were in a girl band or, girl group together, what would the name of that group be? Or if you can't think of anything, if you were to write a country song or album, create a song or album about them, or write a song about them, what would the theme or name of that song be?
I think we'd be called the Margaritas.
The Margaritas. The lime margaritas, because I think...
Right?
Yeah.
Because they're the limes. I was like, well, I'm not in the lime thing, but I'll be a lemon in this. I'll be a lemon. Maybe the Margaritas. A country song? Honey will get her done.
There we go.
So I will also say about Lauren, because Lauren is so efficient. She's the most efficient human being I have ever met. And I was like, I have met my match. I have never just walk around with a notepad when I talk to her. Wow. She has streamlined my life in so many ways that she will never know.
Man, shout out to Lord.
Efficient. And I respect that about her. And I love that about her. And I love that she is positive. With all the things that could stress you out, she will choose to see the positive. And that's why she is a great asset to Recurrent, because there can be chaos in event planning and things like that.
A little bit.
You need someone like her. She's like, it's handled. I was like, I got some Olivia Pope in me, but she also has that, like,
nice
it's handled.
Nice.
Yeah.
Charlynda, again, thank you so much. I already put the check mark next to the name in my book, but I'm so honored that you not only agreed to be on my podcast, but come to my house and record in my laundry room.
I love this.
So, but yeah, just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like, I respect you and look up to you so much. This is an absolute honor for me.
Likewise. I'm humbled by this. I've been waiting to do this for so long that, when you text me like, are we doing this? Yes. I am not missing this. So.
I appreciate that.
Good session. I love this. Your questions are on point. The brief